those possessions and finds ways to get easier possessions for themselves throughout the postseason and does it for longer periods of time than other team, I think is what everybody's kind of focused on. It's hard for some younger guys to understand it till they feel it or in it. But every possession, so there's about 80 to 90 possessions per team. And, every single one of them, they matter a ton, whether it's a loose ball, 50-50 ball, out of bounds play, free throw line, box out. Every possession can change the course of the game. So I think the details for what I would say is the biggest concern or biggest emphasis for most teams.
I agree. Definitely details, from my time in Utah, that was the biggest thing was just, being able to execute. Like you said, the possession game, rebounds, turnovers, ATOs, coming out of the half, starting the game, closing the quarters, like those little details. The game within the game is what we call it pretty much. And, that's going to be the biggest thing in the adjustments that, teams throughout these playoffs, you look at, all these teams, that's what makes these great teams. You look at the Golden States, you look at the Milwaukee who's won, you look at the Cavs when they had Bron, like you look at all the teams that have won the past few years, and I'm missing a couple, but that's all it's been, the little things and the little details like DG said, and that's what ultimately makes you successful in the playoffs.
I want to ask Don.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I wanted to switch up a little bit, but still pertaining to basketball and the season, and of course adjustments not only the team has made, but you have made. Each year you have become more and more efficient as a star. Please talk about the adjustments you have made in the offseason that have made you more of a perimeter threat. Obviously, you've always been a perimeter threat, but more efficient from the three-point line and just making the tough shots, because that's not always it's not easy to do. You make shots, they make them look easy, but they're not easy. They're contested, they're tough shots. What have you done to make that more efficient? What do you focus on in the offseason to make those adjustments each year?
I think the first and foremost thing is your conditioning level. This year I think my conditioning has been at its best, coming into the offseason, or coming into the season, I should say. And then putting yourselves in those positions throughout your workouts, throughout your times, whether it's your strength training, you're running on the treadmill, on the track, you're in the gym getting your skill work. I think that's been my biggest thing, is just being able to put myself in the best situations. But then also on top of it, honestly, is shot selection. I've always felt like I could be this efficient, through the work that I've put in. But I think when it comes down to it, understanding what's a good shot, what's a bad shot, when it's needed, when it's not needed, being able to get guys involved, that's really been my thing throughout this whole season, is just trying to figure that out. I've done a pretty good job of it, and I think I can continue to be better. But as a whole this season, man, I think, that's just been my thing, is just being able to just take the proper shots when necessary and, be more efficient. And people think of efficiency as, he shoots 50 from the field or 60 from the field or whatever from three. But a lot of it is your assist to turnover ratio. You know what I mean? Like what your plus minus is like, and that plus minus is kind of skewed at times, but like, how do you impact the game other ways outside of just scoring the basketball? Do you make the winning plays? And a lot of times all we see guys, not even just myself, but, scorers around this league, we look at it through scoring, but sometimes it's, getting off it at the right time. Sometimes it's being a decoy. Sometimes it's taking the tough shots and making them. So as much as work as you put in, there's a mental component behind it too, that I don't think, people always think about when it comes to that. But definitely your work in the offseason, but shot selection was huge.
Yeah, for sure. I've actually noted to Danny earlier this season that you, in my opinion, you've really elevated your game with how willing you've become at the three-point line, really expanding the opportunities there for you as a scorer and just as a player in general, tying a career high this season in three-point percentage, 38.6, but a career high 28.6 points per game, 48% from the field, and up to 9.3 3-point attempts on the season. So that's pretty damn good in my opinion. And with that actually being said, quick thoughts on just the offensive explosion this year, not just for you, but the entire NBA. What are your thoughts on why it's become that way, and where do you see it going forward?
It's incredible this year. You look at I think it's 25 guys who've scored 40 plus this season, or is it 50 plus?
Something like that.
Something like that. It's crazy. I don't have the answer for why. It's great to see. To be honest, I love it. I love watching it. I love being a part of it. It makes the game, exciting. It's what fans want to see. It's definitely tough when we've had, I think, 50 on us once with Dame in Portland. You know, and it's one of those things, man, when you're in the zone, you're just there, you're locked in, you're ready to go, and you know, it's just get the ball, move out the way at some point in times. You know, I think then you look at, you know, the Joel Embiid's, what he's doing. You look at obviously the Dame, the Steph Curry's. You know, the one that stands out to me is Steph Curry in the against the Clippers a few weeks ago. Like, that performance was masterful. You know, Damian Lillard, he had Clay Thompson. You know, like it goes down the line. Darius Garland, we had no business being in the game here against Minnesota at home. Completely finds a way to will himself to a 51.9. Obviously, we lose, but you know, single-handedly bringing us back. Like, there's so many different guys you can look to. Luka Doncic, what he 60, 20, and 11 down there in Dallas. You know, it's different areas, and you look at so many talents throughout the league, and it's great that this league has so many different talents throughout, you know, every single every single team, every conference, you know, and whatever, every division. So it's exciting to see, it's exciting to be a part of, and you know, I think it's only going to take off and continue to be more as the league, as we continue to move on.
For sure, especially with the fact that they've adjusted some rules with the shot clock,
Yeah.
offensive rebound, and changing the pace, and then the take fouls. You're not allowed to take fouls anymore, more fast pace, more transition. So I think that has definitely made it, obviously, with the fact that people are shooting and making more threes. But the fact that the game is a little bit more faster paced, a lot of people want to see more offense with the transition and the take fouls, and you know, and obviously the shot clock only 14 seconds after the offense rebound. So yeah, this is the first time, I think, since 1980 that no team has scored less than 80 points. You've never seen that in a season, so I see it only growing from here.